Machete bins, the peak of government stupidity. Does anyone else sometimes wonder if we're living in a simulation? Like someone's just messing with us to see how far they can push us before we stand up and say, hang on, wait a minute, what's going on here? Now, before we get to the actual bins, let's just take a second and see where Victoria's at. Let's just forget that Victoria is the most indebted state in Australia, with a net debt of around 155 billion, which is forecasted to hit around 194 billion in 2029. Let's also forget that Victorians are forking out $7.6 billion a year in interest payments alone, which will climb up to 10.6 billion in 2029. Right, let's also forget that the Labor government has spent over $300 million in treaty negotiations. I want to know where these negotiations were happening. Was it on a $1 billion yacht somewhere in the Mediterranean? Like, how can you justify that spend? Right, let's forget the machete ban, the woke bail laws, the soft sentencing, and a justice system that refuses to deport immigrant offenders and refuses to give violent criminals proper time behind bars. Right, forget all of that. And instead, let's focus on a 15-year-old boy that was attacked with machetes and is now in hospital. That happened a couple of days ago. And what's the big solution that Jacinta Allen has brought in? These machete bins. And guess what? $13 million worth of taxpayer dollars has been surrendered for those bins. Are these bins plated with gold? And guess what? They'll only be around for 3 months. We are seriously asking violent offenders who we won't properly punish to politely drop their weapons into bins. Like when you're a kid returning a late video to Blockbuster. You've got offenders who know they'll get soft bail laws, light sentences, and no deportation. And you're politely asking them to hand in their weapon of choice. And while they're doing this, Victoria is bleeding money. Their state is flat broke. Services are under pressure, crime is rising, but you've got a government throwing millions of dollars into bins that won't stop a single machete attack. And here's the flat out truth. The people hacking arms off for a mobile phone, not worried about a bin. The 4 blokes who stormed a school with machetes, not worried about a bin. And the gangs targeting teenagers in public, also not worried about a bin. They know there's no real consequences. And that is the problem. When you replace adult time for adult crimes with early intervention and inclusive approaches, you send a message that crime is low risk. These bins aren't the solution. They're a photo op, a way for a disconnected government to look like they're tackling a problem without making any tough calls. If you want to fix machete crime, you don't do it with bins. You do it with real consequences. And you know what? This is exactly where DEI gets us. We have to be inclusive of offenders now. When did the merit of the law-abiding public get pushed to the back for the inclusivity of offenders? You want to blame a system here? I think we all need to blame DEI. It needs to go. What's your thoughts?